Welcome back, Patriots. We are now going to go over the lesson that would have been given in class for lesson 4b. Excuse me. Lesson 4b is about combination transformations, meaning we're going to move a shape more than once. So if you notice up at the top of the page, highlight it for you. At the top of the page, we notice that we have A turns into A prime or A apostrophe, and then A apostrophe turns into A double prime or A double apostrophe. That tells me the order in which the shapes changed. So in the picture that you see, the black shape turned into the blue shape, and then the blue shape turned into the red shape. Okay? And what we need to do is document how the black shape went from one to the other to the other. So let's take a look. So here's the shapes they had given us. It says what transformations will map. So here's what I want to do. The first transformation changed the black shape into the blue shape. Okay? So I'm going to say we're going from the regular shape and we're going to transform into the first transformation. Okay, first transformation. So we got to look at just black and blue. How did it get from one place to the other for black and blue? Okay, so if you take a minute and examine, it looks like it slid down and over for each point. Each point went down and over. Okay, so that means to create the first transformation, we used translation. And using vector format, oops, is it doing that? Using vector format, we know that it went down 7 and forward 11. So forward 11, down 7. Okay, so that's how we know how it changed. Now we have to go from the blue shape to the red shape. So how did it go from the first transformation to the second transformation? Okay, so look at the blue and the red. You notice how the C was down at the bottom and it flips up to the top. So that is a reflection. Okay, and more specifically, it reflected over the x-axis, right? It reflected over this line. So you could go one step farther and say over the x-axis. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be recording more than one change to get the original shape to the final shape. Okay, so let's look at another one. So here we have three trapezoids. It went from the black shape to the blue shape to the red shape. All right. So from the black shape to the blue shape, right? The black shape to the blue shape, it looks like it rotated, right? It rotated through the middle, right here, point of rotation, and it rotated up and around, and the line that connects those two M's tells us it rotated 180 degrees. So if we're going to record the first one is that our original shape, we can say M or M, just the regular M, turned into M prime, okay, through rotation. More completely, it rotated 180 degrees. Okay? Then it has to figure out how we got from blue to red. So how did we get from M prime to M double prime? Okay? And it looks like all those points flipped over. Oops, all those points flipped over the y-axis. Right? The H was way over on the left, now it's way over on the right. So that is a reflection more completely. It reflected over the y-axis. So we're going from black to blue and from blue to red. So from black to blue, if I connect all these points, notice they all go through the middle. That's telling me that's probably a rotation through the middle. Okay? That's a rotation through the middle. And that line that we drew is 180 degrees. So that tells me to go to the first shape in order to create C to C prime, or A or B or whatever you put on here, right? It rotated, rotation, 180 degrees. Then to get from blue to red, it looks like it rotated again, doesn't it? Let's connect those dots real quick. Move him out of the way. If we connect these dots, right, we connect each one of these, we're going to notice that we rotated again, but the rotation is 90 degrees. So in order to get from C prime to the second one, we rotated again, but this time we rotated this way, which is counterclockwise, 90 degrees. Right? It went from here to here. Now we have to perform some. So now we're not identifying, we actually have to do two separate changes. The first one is reflect across that line. Okay? Now that line, ladies and gentlemen, that's in your notes. So you go look back at your reflection notes, and y equals x is a line that looks like this. And in order to reflect it, the easiest way is to count diagonally. So for point A, it's 1 diagonal, 2 diagonal, 3 diagonal, 4, 5 and a half. So we're going to count 5 and a half on the other side, right? Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so it's 5 and a half. So we're going to go 5 and a half on the other side. Okay, get rid of that line. So we're going to go 5 and a half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. Let's do 5 and a half again. So there's half. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's where your new A goes. Right. C is 1, 2, 3 and a half. So we're going to go half, 1, 2, 3. There's C. So AC is right here. Okay. And then B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half. So we're going to go half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's where B goes. So there's my new triangle. That's my first one. Okay, that was right here. Then we have to reflect up over the X. So we're going to have a new line right here. So all we do is we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. So that's your final change. We just do it twice. So some of the shapes might start landing on top of each other, ladies and gentlemen. So if it helps, color them in as you finish them. So for instance, if I want to color this guy in, okay, here's my original shape. Kind of crayon that in a little bit. Then as I change it, it will be more obvious where it moved to. So this says the first thing I need to do is rotate 90 degrees. Okay, rotate 90 degrees. So you can use your rule to do that. That is in your notes, right? So we're going to take the one that's on there and it's going to rotate up 90 degrees. So our shape is going to end up looking, oh, so clockwise. So we're going to go down 90 degrees. So our shape is going to end up looking like, oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, I'm just going to use the rule to do these, okay? So I'm skipping some steps here. And then it comes down to here. So my first rotation, again, I just applied the rule, and that's where it went. Okay? So when I say I applied the rule, I looked back at my notes, and I recorded the XY location for A, B, C, and D, and then I changed it according to the proper rule. The next one is I have to slide it. So I'm going to slide the blue shape. I'm going to go back to up 5. So all corners are going to go back to up 5. Back to up 5. Back to up 5. Right? So all of them are going to go back to up 5. And that becomes the final movement. Okay. So you should have enough to finish and start your assignment at this point in time. Good luck.